On and poppin', Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Sawyer Sam in the house as well. Happy to have you guys all along for the ride with us, talking the Detroit Lions, their win over the Green Bay Packers. And here's a good one from Chuck. Says, Neal, here's some more math for you. Number 2 overall picks contract is cheaper than the number 1 overall picks contract.
Ooh, and you like cheap contracts.
And I do like cheap contracts. Insert Amon-Ra St. Brown here. And I'll say this, Terry, too. Based on how he closed and the numbers he put up and everything like that, dollar for dollar, Amon-Ra St. Brown might be the best player on the Detroit Lions.
Probably is for now. Yes, he is.
If you go off of return versus cost, Amon-Ra St. Brown holds a Lions season record for the most receiving yards by a rookie, passing Roy Williams as he had 817 yards. It's been impressive, man.
The home team knows how to get open. He's not one of those guys that's going to burn you deep, but he's got a little wiggle in him, and he gets open in critical situations, and you can milk him. You know, a lot of times, sometimes a receiver may have a good game, but they'll hit him early in the first quarter, then again in the second quarter. You can go to Amon-Ra St. Brown this play on second down and third down, and then you can hit him again. Right?
You can hand the ball to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Hand the ball to him. You can do a lot of things.
And that's what's intriguing. I think that you see a lot of versatility with him, and I love it, man. I love what he's turned into. Aleem McNeil certainly had some moments in the game yesterday as well. And again, you know, I'm not mad. I wasn't punching the air or anything like that when they won. I was disappointed, sure. But that's just mild because, again, they already had the number 2 pick locked up. We saw Dan Campbell open up the playbook vault as well. You got Tom Kennedy out there throwing touchdown passes and things like that. I mean, it was a circus. Yeah, I mean, he coached like they had nothing to lose because they did.
He did, but you know the other thing is he coached. We look at it, you know, opening up the playbook and keeping Green Bay off balance, but he also coached a game that would invigorate a dressing room. I know that his rah-rah speeches and everything gets people riled up, but the fact that he's given players toys. NFL players like toys, and toys for them are trick plays, fake punts, onside kicks. That gets guys enthused. So Dan Campbell, to ensure that they just didn't show up and say, okay, we got Green Bay, whatever, we have nowhere to go. He put in a playbook, and guys knew it was coming, and that got them. Okay, we're gonna play again. We're gonna ball out today.
What about this, Terry? PGL61 says, "Hey Neal, play design has elevated so much since Campbell took over. Dan Campbell as OC has been the most improved Lion this year. What about that? Because obviously Anthony Lynn has been a dead man walking for a couple of months now.
Right.
They will try to find another offensive coordinator. We will see, you know, what will Dan Campbell do? How much more involved will he be? Will he be less involved? All that stuff. And we have a whole offseason to talk about that. How do you think he grew as the year went on? Do you have more faith in Dan Campbell today than you did 10 weeks ago?
Yes, because 10 weeks ago I wanted him fired. I want him out of here. Maybe not.
Man, Terry, what's wrong in your life that you walk around with such hate in your heart, man, where you're that upset?
Hey, because I'm trying to see this franchise take the next step, and I thought he was a disaster from this standpoint. When he started play calling, he was awful. Now, he's like, he's coaching like he don't give a damn, and that's a good way. I don't give a damn. We have inferior talent. We're just gonna let it roll out there, and so I think he talked about being aggressive. He talked about kneecaps, and then didn't do it. Now he's doing it. So I think he has evolved. I think he's involved because now he is more to what he's akin to, or at least what he talked about. Just letting it all hang out. I'm going to walk the walk and talk the talk. He wasn't walking the walk before, and I thought he was bad as a play caller at first.
Tony Pasta. Dan Campbell is fantastic. Our team looks to move forward and move in wins. T-Foss is a negative old fuddy-duddy.
No, you know what? Here's T. Foss. T. Foss is tired of you guys celebrating occasional victories. T. Foss wants to have a city where we talk about championships, where you build towards championships. And I'm tired of all this mediocrity that you people put up with. How about that? I want better for you. You're like my children who don't know any better.
Jason Hill says Brad Holmes has proven better than just one draft. Well, I'm talking about with the Lions because you can be at a different organization and be good at drafting, and something happens when you come here. But Brad Holmes seems as though he's above that. Just look at the hits, Terry. Look at the hits.
You know what he's doing, or what I think he has an agreement with? The Fords are staying out of his office. Before, and I even think this happened under Matt Millen, who was a disaster. Maybe there were some guys he wanted to draft, but the Fords are like, well, we need a quarterback. We need Joey Harrington. We need this.
And you, Terry, you obviously your network and your circle is much greater. Your connection's much greater than mine. But I think, let me run this by you from what I've heard to people that I've talked to that have been in and around that room. That was from above. Like the Joey Harrington thing was from above.
It was. It was from above. And I tell you who didn't like Joey Harrington? Steve Mariucci. The coach didn't like him. He didn't want him. Because I was doing a piece on Joey Harrington, and I asked Steve Mariucci some softball questions, and he looked at me like, no, this ain't the guy.
and that is true. And you knew that, Terry, when they came in, when Brad Holmes came in, Dan Campbell came in, the length of the contract, that was the first thing that opened my eyes, to see that Dan Campbell got a 6-year contract, Holmes got a 5-year contract. I think their pitch, and the reason that probably the Lions ended up going that direction, I bet they kept it real when they made their pitch. And they're like, look, we're going to have to trade Matt Stafford as much as you guys don't want to do. And I don't know this. I'm just
this
conjecture on my part.
I'm sure the Fords were very upset that Matt Stafford went in and said he wanted out. Because when you look at his history here, never had a quality backup quarterback. If you talked
never drafted one,
right?
Nothing.
Never did that. If you talked about Matthew Stafford being somewhere else, man, they get all pissed off and everything. They wanted it to work out. They wanted him to be their quarterback this year, next year, and the year after. They didn't want to get rid of Matthew Stafford. They didn't want to move on. And here's the other thing. Brad Holmes, as far as the Fords, we have a commercial. You know what he's got on his front door for the Fords? 1-800 stay out.
It's a joint advertisement.
Yes, it is.
And I will have to temper this too. And I know it's a feel good thing. And oddly enough, with a team that's 3-13-1, there seems to be a lot of positive sentiment, and that's fine by me because I share that sentiment. Because I should get a Brad Holmes jersey, maybe at the Woodward Sports Draft Party. That's what I'll do. I'll rock a Brad Holmes a jersey or a T-shirt or something, because he's the MVP on this team. C.J. Schneider, and we'll have these discussions too. Now that the season's is wound down for the Lions, it is winding down the NFL, and we'll get into the calendar. Then in March, when free agency starts and the draft and all that, we'll get a lot of these, like C.J. Schneider just says. We need free agents like Vandenbosch and Tate, dudes who are great on the field and in the locker room. And C.J., I will say this, and I am on board. And I'm on board for the first time probably in 20 years with the Detroit Lions. I'm on board with who's making the calls. And I'll say this to you guys. Let's tap the brakes on that free agency stuff, Terry, because I've laid out my plan many times. This was the draft pick year. Next year, you got to take some scissors to the salary cap. And you got to cut some stuff.
And free agents don't want to come here.
And you're not there yet. You're not there yet. You need to get... I believe you'll have sufficient talent just based on the draft history of Brad Holmes, and just in terms of the draft of itself, the talent that he brings in through the draft. But with all that being said, you're going to have next year is going to be the year of financial pain. Do you think Trey Flowers is a long-term answer?
No.
So either you believe or you don't believe, and if you don't believe, then what's the outcome?
See you.
You need to cut it. Like that's where it is, guys. And you're gonna have to show some financial scars in order to do that. The $10 million cap hits to cut some folks and things like that. And then Jared Goff, what do you do with him? Is he a bridge guy? Is he not a bridge guy? You got a $10 million out after next year with Goff if you want it. So these are the things, guys. We're not there yet, CJ. We're not to the free agency part of all this. 2023 we are. But this offseason we're not. It's a 34-game process, man. We're 17 in. So let's keep rocking and rolling it and get this thing handled.